was like close to 400,
Wow.
the lowest.
Man, Elena was right about him. A couple years ago, she told me.
He's going to be big.
Noah Khan, yeah. Oh, are we good?
Are we live?
Hey, Mike just picked us
Hot
that.
mic.
Hot
Hot mic.
Mike. Um, are we? We're on. Okay. Well, hey, welcome, folks, to our Housing and Residence Life Facebook Live. My name is Craig Allen. I'm the Executive Director for Housing and Fraternity and Sorority Life. Joining me today on our podcast.
I'm Rachel Hopper. I serve as Director of Housing and Residence Life. We're excited to spend time with you today. So this is going to be fun. We have our podcast mics. Think we're ready?
We are ready.
Okay.
We have a lot of great material to dive into. Rachel and I will go over, and then we will take questions. You can enter your questions into the chat function. Is that what it's called? Chat function. And just off camera to my right are Danielle and Sean, and they're going to be answering questions. And they will throw out things to us, Rachel, every now and then if it's a common question that we can talk about it live on this Facebook Live platform. Have we given folks, do we have a good, people are still joining maybe? Okay. So as people are joining, let's give a quick weather update. It's hot, and it's going to get hotter as we get closer to move in, but you know, that's exciting. I think the consecutive days at 100 is usually something I look forward to counting.
It is. What was the year we almost broke the record?
The year we almost broke the record was back in the early 2010 teens-ish. We hit 39 or 40, and the record was 43. So we won't hope for that for this year for our folks moving in. But let's start with room changes. I have been instructed that the room change form is live, and we have been getting room change requests in, and that's the way, if you want to consider changing a room, that's the way to do it, is to make that, fill out that request form. We just want to be really honest with folks and let you know that right now we are very full, and that means that changes will be minimal unless we get cancellations, which over the course of the summer, we will probably see some. When that happens and we have opportunities to make some moves, we will do that. But that also means that for the next couple of weeks, since we don't have any vacancies, or very few, that we're likely going to see what accumulates. And then that might give us an opportunity to make some changes. So if you've made a request, you don't need to keep making it. You've made it. We have it on record. And if an opportunity presents itself for us to make a change, we will let you know and make you an offer, which you then need to email and accept. So be checking your TCU email, you know, maybe not every day, but every couple days you should be taking a look, especially if you were waiting to see if we might have a room change offer for you. So speaking of the weather, move-in day forecast. Our friends at NBC5, that's who I trust. I trust Grant Johnston, Rick Mitchell, and the team. People have different opinions here in the Metroplex. That's who I go with. So Grant and Rick, if you're listening, I'm sure you're following along. Please know that we count on you for our weather forecast. The forecast is
hot.
It's going to be hot, Rachel. That's right.
Very hot.
So we want you to hydrate and dress comfortably and be ready. Let's go to time slots. What are they? Time slots are when you get to get your unloading pass and check in. It is when we activate your ID so that you then have access to the building you live in, and then you will get an unloading pass where you can pull up to your building and unload your belongings. And so that's a very important part of this process to move in, is to know your time slot. How do you find out your time slot? Every student has one, and it's in the housing portal. So you've logged into the portal before, we know you have, and if you go to the portal and the purple navigation bar and you select, there's a tab there to select time slot. When you select that, it will tell you what your day and time for move-in is, and then you'll see instructions to print your dash pass, your move-in dash pass. Really, really important. I want to stress this again. You go to the portal, move-in time slots, dash pass, print that, and if you put that on your dash when you get here, hence the dash pass term, that is going to make that process go really smoothly. So if you can do that, what if you don't have a printer? Some people don't have printers. Our printer's not working at my house even. So we would either have to print somewhere, or we can do a screenshot on our phones, right? And you might then show that when you come through the line to our police and to our staff so that we can get you checked in. So either print it out, have a screenshot, have it on your phone, and you'll be good to go for move-in day.
Yeah, we even saw last year some people wrote it out on a piece of paper and put it in the front dashboard. So a few options there.
Right.
I'm going to share with you what you do next. And we have a very smooth move-in process. We're excited to be able to welcome you to campus, and it's important that you go to the right place as you arrive to campus. So I want to highlight that a few of our residence halls, those students will go exactly to the residence hall. So I'm going to highlight which buildings those are. We have Village East, we have Molly Reed, Liberty Lofts, University House, and Hill and Walsh will go directly to their buildings to check in. So those addresses and exact directions and locations will be in our move-in guide, which will come out later this week as we make our final edits to that. So you will have the opportunity to go directly to the building. Everyone else, if you are in any other building, Shirley, Colby, Foster, Waits, Marion, whatever, you will go through our drive-through move-in process. And that is that we want you to arrive at Cantey Street. Again, this will be in the move-in guide, but we want you to arrive at Cantey Street, which is right near the stadium. Through that process, we're going to look at that dash pass, make sure that we have the right time slot, and then we're going to make sure that you receive an unloading pass to go directly to the building to unload everything. And if you have two vehicles, that's fine. You can bring two vehicles and make sure that you have that. But if you bring one vehicle, that's fine too. The student in the vehicles, the student needs to be in the first car, and the student has to be at move-in. So we don't check out keys or check in a student to their family members or to a friend. We verify that the student is actually who is there and moving in that day. We have a few lanes that we will queue cars into to get that unloading pass, and then you will go down and get everything activated, like Craig said, and then we'll queue you up to go to your residence hall to unload everything. Of course, you know, we may have some bathroom breaks that we need, and we have put porta potties in lot 3, maybe lot 2, I can't remember. But we've put them at the stadium, so if you are in your car and you made that long car trip and you're ready to get closer to move in, we do have porta potties right there for you.
Rachel, do you want to mention what happens if they fly in and they
Yes.
aren't coming by car?
Yeah.
What would they do?
So some people arrive by Uber, or you have other transportation that you have arranged to be able to bring you to campus. We need you to email us so that we can give you exact instructions on where to go on that move-in day so we can accommodate you. There would be no point in the Uber sitting through that line. We would want to make sure that you get taken care of. So you're going to email housing@tcu.edu if you are what is considered a walk-up.
Right. So walk-ups, email us, and we will give you instructions on how to do that. Keep in mind, whether you're a walk-up or you're driving through, your time slot is still your time slot. That won't change. How you get to campus might be different, and where you go, obviously we're not going to have you walk your suitcase through a process with cars. It would be a different process. So just email us and we'll give you that instruction. So as they go through this line, and you've had the porta potties for a break, and it's going to move pretty consistently. There are certain times where you may sit for a few minutes in one of the parking lots, but as you move on behind the stadium, you're going to pull into what's known as Lot 2. You don't really need to know that. We'll direct you. And that's where we queue our cars to then go unload. And we need to know that there's unloading spots available because we can't have traffic backing up on the city streets. That's why our police work closely with Fort Worth Police and others to make sure that we have unloading spaces, and then we will send you to the unloading zone for your haul. So you're going to be in Lot 2. You might be there for 5 or 10 minutes, maybe not there for more than a minute at all, and directed to your parking lot for your building. And you'll get to your building, and you will pull into an unloading spot, and then you're going to unload your vehicle. And we ask that you just unload quickly. put everything out on the sidewalk or on the grass, and then one person needs to move that car. So if you're traveling with multiple people, one person or two might stay with your belongings, and then the person who decides to move the car will take it to a designated parking spot, most likely Frog Alley Garage or other spot, and then they can walk back and meet you to help move everything into the building. But you need to unload cars quickly. As we've talked about, this is thousands and thousands of vehicles coming, thousands and thousands of people moving into buildings, and we do it pretty quickly each day that we have move in. And so you unloading quickly is a key part of the process. Once you get to your building and you've unloaded things, student is going to get their key to get into your actual room. That'll happen. And then you might get a move-in cart. If you are bringing a car and you have the ability to bring a dolly or a folding wagon or something, you might want to do that. But we also recommend that you don't pack huge, heavy bins or boxes that you would have a hard time lifting. In the event that you need to carry things, we would strongly encourage you not to pack things that are too big or too heavy on your move-in day. What else happens at the hall? Okay, so you're going to get things moved in. A lot of people are going to have cardboard boxes or things that came in cardboard boxes. We'll ask you to please break that cardboard down, and we will have trash bins, large dumpsters outside in the buildings in different locations where you can take that cardboard and we will recycle it. That's something we added a couple years ago. It's been very successful. Helps us keep a lot out of the landfills, and it also helps us minimize the trash in our trash dumpsters. So you can put trash where you need to put trash, put your cardboard in the cardboard recycling, and that will really help us out. But that'll all be outside. So you move things in, take that trash right outside, take that cardboard outside, and get it out of your way. You're not going to want that stuff sitting in the room anyway. So as you take that out, you'll see places outside where all of that can go. What if you need to go and do some more shopping? That happens.
Yes.
You forgot something. I'd always encourage you to decide maybe that can be an Amazon order that just shows up the next day. But let's say you want to make a run to Target, you're heading out to IKEA, whatever the case may be. Please feel free to go ahead and do that. We just ask that you plan to either then, when you come back to campus from that shopping trip, understand that you're going to then carry that item for where your car is parked, or you can wait until the end of our move-in day and then drive back up. Because otherwise you wouldn't have an unloading pass. You're not going to be allowed to pull up in front of the building. So if you go out and do that shopping trip, maybe you keep it to a few items that you can carry in, or if you need to pull up in front after that shopping trip, just wait till the end of the day. Our days will end each day between anywhere from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock or so, maybe a little later, maybe a little earlier. Well, that's a benefit. So it could be earlier, but plan on 4 to 6. You should be safe. And then you can pull up in front of the building again without an unloading pass. But keep in mind, while the police are there during our move-in times, you have to have an unloading pass to pull up in front of the building. I think I've covered that.
Can they come through
Trailers?
with a box truck, a trailer?
Trailers and U-Hauls, we really, really will have to say no to those. So please don't bring the box trucks or trailers. Our unloading areas in front of the halls are narrow, and the parking spots are not well suited to any kind of truck larger than a pickup truck or a Suburban or whatever it might be. So no on the box trucks, really no on the trailers. I mean, I suppose if it's a very small trailer being pulled by a car, we might be able to get that in, but we really need to say no on the trailers and box trucks of any sort. So no U-Hauls, no trailers. If you have to make a multiple trip, we'll help you out, do a multiple trip, but no on those things. And remember, you're unloading into a dorm room. It's maybe 180 square feet. So a trailer or a truck would probably mean you have too much stuff.
Yes. So once you arrive on campus and you've unloaded everything, you've gotten that up to your room, and after you've already checked in with the hall staff, you really get to be settled and start to unpack things and be ready to hang things on the wall or set out your bedding, put things away in drawers. And we're excited for you to be able to do that. But some of you may be asking, well, how does everything fit? And if I'm assigned to a triple with shared amenities room, how does that work? Well, we ask for our TSA students, triples with shared amenities, students staying in those rooms, that they really work together as a trio to make sure that who's bringing what, should we have this type of arrangement? And when they arrive to campus, that they're communicating with the other individuals in the room to see how they want it arranged and how they want to proceed in putting this over there or this over there. So there are many different arrangements to every residence hall room. You can move things around, and the furniture can go up and down and lofting the beds. But we really want for roommates to work together to identify how they want that to be set up. Now, we do have the question that comes in, what if we want an extra desk in our triple with shared amenities room? We ask that you set things out, get arranged, and if there is space to safely put that in, then you can make that request to add an extra desk. And we would take that request in. It won't be immediate that that desk is delivered to that room, but we will take that request and we will process and be able to work with those students should that be a request that they want. We also have bed rails and some ladders that are available. Oftentimes we see that students on move-in day, they want that bed rail, so we have some of those available in each of the buildings. But a few days later, they may return that bed rail and take it back. And so that's something that's definitely a personal choice, that if that is something that you desire because you've lofted your bed up or you are doing bunks, then that may be something that you consider. But we do have some of those available, and we do often have them returned because they don't find them necessary. What if you want to talk to somebody about a question or you need help on move-in day? Our move-in staff, our student staff that are in every building will be available walking the halls, and we also have a professional staff member, a hall director, that is assigned to each building that they live in the building, they manage the staff, they oversee the entire experience that happens in that residence hall, and they will be on site too. We also have members of our supervision team that are going around checking in with individuals, checking in with families, walking buildings to be able to answer those questions too. If you look for a name tag or you look for one of the purple staff shirts that we're going to get for our students, you will be able to find somebody. And that's what we're there to do, is to be able to help and to ease some of those concerns or talk to you about a different room arrangement, or can you borrow a rubber mallet to undo your bed to be able to bunk it, or not bunk it, loft it? So you have some options there. And we want to make sure that you know people are in that building and ready to help. Also on the front door, there will be, and at the front desk, there will be individuals that will be around that area, but we'll also have a duty phone number that's posted. And so we'll make sure that that is transferred to one of our student staff members as well. We get this question at orientation a lot.
Yeah.
How long do parents stay? Definitely a
Could
family
be
decision.
hours or days.
Could be days. It is really up to you as a family to discuss that. We can assure you that when your student is moving in, that student will be busy from the point of moving in beyond that. So if they're arriving for a recruitment effort, or they're arriving for band or cheer, or moving in on the 19th, which is our last formal move-in day, they have events that are happening. So that will be something for you to be able to process through. How long do I want my families to stay, or how long do I want to stay around my student? And we see a variety of that. People will be able to stay off-site somewhere, and they can visit their student during a break that they may have during recruitment or whatever it may be that they're going through. But that's definitely something for you to talk about as a family. If something's broken in your room, or you're noticing that something is kind of off, or you might be missing something, our staff has walked every space before move-in occurs. But in the event that we have missed something, we want you to report that. Simply come to the front desk, be able to talk to one of our staff members, and that way we can make sure that we're getting you the information that you need about that exact thing that's broken, or we have somebody follow up with you about it too.
What about items that you've shipped to campus? We have mentioned it if you've attended orientation. We've mentioned the ship to room programs through Storage Scholars and Storage Squad, where if you've shipped items to those companies, and that's a fees-based service, if you've done that, they will have delivered it and it will be in your room when you arrive. If you've shipped to TCU Post Office, you've gotten a TCU Post Office box, and you have shipped packages to the post office, you can pick those up prior to your arrival or after your arrival. If you do come prior to your move-in time slot and you want to grab those items and then go through the move-in process, you're asked to allow at least 2 hours prior to your time slot to have time to go through that line to get your packages and then still get in line for your time slot. Remember, the thing with time slots, and I think it's important to mention, is if you have a 10 a.m. time slot and you get here at 10:15, that's fine. If you get here at 11:15, that's fine. We just can't allow it to be earlier. Later is usually, not usually, in my experience, never been an issue. So if you're late for your time slot, that's fine. Just come when you get here. Some of you, if it's your first time coming in from DFW and you're renting a vehicle, you might be surprised that might take a minute to get your car and then get here. And so we understand that you might be running late. And if you are, just come when you get here, as long as it's after your time slot. If you get here before your time slot, take a breather, get yourself a nice cold water, go to get some Starbucks, have a breakfast, a lunch, whatever it might be, and then come at your designated time slot. But for those items you've shipped, they'll be here, whether it's the ship to room program or if you've shipped it to TCU post office, you can pick it up. It's a great way to minimize what you're packing, and so please take advantage of that. Elaborate about the post office. So TCU Post Office has items. They do a lot of them are going to be stored in the Frog Alley garage, and they will have a drive-through opportunity for you to drive through the Frog Alley garage and say, hi, my name is Craig Allen. I ship these 7 packages, and they will go and get them and bring them to you. You put them in your car, and then you can go on your way to your building if you've already checked in, or you can go through the move-in process and then unload when you unload all your other belongings. So hopefully that explains it. It's a drive-through. If you don't come on that day, the post office will be open on every move-in day. They are also open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30, we believe. So double check their hours. If you go to the website, TCU Post Office, and double check, or you can email them for more information. But a great thing to take advantage of. What about meals? If you are arriving on Friday the 14th, your meals will be on your own for that day. But beginning on the 15th of August, that's Saturday, our dining halls will be open. I would expect that our retail locations, Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, probably some of the other retail locations will be open as students return to campus. All of them will eventually be open by the start of the school year. Let's see. If your student is moving in prior to the 15th, like not just the 14th, but if you are one of those August 9 arrivals, then you're going to be on your own for meals that first week until the 15th when meal plans begin. What about parking permits? Not our thing.
Not our thing.
However, you can go to parking.tcu.edu. That's parking.tcu.edu, and you can get all your information you might need about parking permits. We will not have those in our process. You can't pick them up from us. You'll get them from TCU Police, which is where parking falls underneath police, and that'll be where you get that taken care of. And that email again, or that website again, is parking.tcu.edu for all the information you will need about parking permits. Are we hitting any other big topics in the comments?
Yeah, 2 people who would like us to clarify if
8 feet by 4 feet would probably be okay, as long as it's an 8 foot by 4 foot trailer, if that is what you're bringing, as long as it's not towed by a U-Haul truck, if it's towed by medium or not too large size vehicle, we should be able to get into most locations. The thing, folks, is that in some of our you're basically pulling into a fire lane. Some of those fire lanes, as cars are parked in them, it is really difficult to get traffic around them. And so when you have a large vehicle and a trailer trying to make turns and navigate around other cars that are already parked, that becomes really challenging. And we've had this happen with people trying to bring the trucks, they get stuck, they can't make a turn, or they can't do something, and now it backs up the entire process until we can get cars moved to make it easier to move that truck or trailer. So the 8x4, I'm going to strongly encourage you not to do it, but in all likelihood, we could probably let that go through. I think that would be okay. But if you have another solution, I would implore you to please try to find the other solution to an 8x4 trailer. That's it right now.
I don't think we said where we are. Yeah. This behind us
Yes.
is the Hill Walsh Collision Space. The
Also known
students
as the
here,
Den.
Yeah, call it the Den.
The Den.
And it's been amazing to have this as a spot for students to hang out and study and have
Right.
events here, which is a cool
Very
space
popular.
right next to Gutierrez.
Right next to Gutierrez. For those of you living in Hill and Walsh, so far from the other side of campus, no. You're going to have an amazing experience as you are in any of our buildings. And Rachel, we are looking out at
New
a
construction.
beautiful building that's about to
Yes.
be topped out, one of our new halls that will open a year from now. A year from now, we'll be looking at a finished building from this window. It's going to be pretty remarkable.
Awesome. Any
Danielle,
questions
comments
coming in?
over there? A few snickers off camera, so I don't know what we're laughing about, but I'm doing great, I'm sure. Dave Cooper? Our waterbeds. Coop, for you, almost anything is permitted except waterbeds, because I know you. And I'd just like to thank you for joining our Facebook Live. Dave Cooper, folks, he's been through this process before. He knows a thing or two, but I appreciate him tuning in.
Awesome.
All right. Once again, off camera, Danielle Jackman, our associate director, I like to call her DJ for short, and Sean Strickland, double S, Agent Double S, that's what we call him, making assignments and maybe a few room changes. Sorry, not a lot of room changes. Rachel, I want to go back and repeat for people just tuning in, and maybe we'll even should type in the comments section those buildings that people go directly to
Yes.
avoid any confusion. The last thing we need you to do is show up, go through a drive-through process that you don't need to be at. So once again, let's repeat those buildings.
Okay, so if you were assigned to Village East, McCart, Molly Reed,
north and south?
north
Okay.
and south, Liberty Lofts, University House, Tom Brown Pete Wright, Hill and Walsh. If you are assigned to any of those facilities, you will go directly to the residence hall. And throughout the move-in guide, you'll be able to see those instructions again, and we list the exact address to be able to go to. So only those buildings go directly to the residence hall.
For those of you who are first-year students or families tuning in, the only one of those communities that you would need to know is Hill and Walsh. Hill and Walsh would be the only two of all those we listed that are first-year communities. You'll go directly to Hill and Walsh at your move-in time slot. You still show up at your move-in time slot, but you can go directly to the building. Police will be there to direct you where to park, and they will verify your time slot there. So still at your time slot, directly to the buildings, and then all those other communities for our returning students.
Yeah.
Craig, Rachel, what do you all think is the best way for residents to get the best idea of dimensions for their own room?
Wow, dimensions. Sean, I have some thoughts. Rachel?
Yes. So on our website, we currently have every residence hall listed. And when you click on that residence hall, you'll be able to see some tours of the rooms, a 360-degree tour. And in that tool, you can pull up the measuring tool and be able to see and measure. Now, that's one room in one of those residence halls. So there might be some that have an extra little jet out of a column or something, but for the most part, you're going to be able to do that. We also, below each residence hall, we have a list of dimensions, whether it's full size, extra long, twin XL, typical window, like all of that is listed on the website. So you'll be able to reference that.
It'll have dresser dimensions, desk dimensions. People ask about desks often. Our desks come in one of two varieties. We have one is a two-piece desk where the desk itself might be, I think it's maybe a 30-inch long and I don't know if it's 18 or 20 wide. And then that desk has a pedestal with it, or some of them are all one piece. So we have some that are one piece, some that are two pieces. If you put the two pieces together, they happen to equal the one piece. So for those of you thinking about if I want to put stuff on top of my desk, if you have the one-piece desk, that's that dimension. If you have the two-piece, you can put the pedestal next to it and you'd have the same dimension. But they are listed on the website. Outside of something that you might be putting on top of your desk, or obviously your bedding, you want to know those dimensions. If you're thinking about windows and curtains, I'm going to encourage you to buy a tension rod and have it be adjustable. Best bet is to do anything from 4 to 6 feet or even bigger. Or I will also tell you, if you're not sure or you can't tell by looking at your window dimensions, then wait until you get to the hall and then order the correct size tension rod. It'll be here in a day or two from Amazon, and then you'll have exactly what you need. But some of the windows have window sills that go back in, so you can mount that. Others, you're going to literally mount it from wall to wall in order to hang curtains. So it varies hall to hall, room to room, and so tension rod would be the best. The only other thing that you might need to know dimensions for, I suppose, would be carpet for your floor. I'll advise you, you're not going to want wall-to-wall carpet, so if you go anything between 9 by 12 or smaller, that's probably about all you're going to need. And that's just Craig's pro tip. Unless you're in the Commons, Samuelson, Carter, King, or Wright, those rooms are a little smaller. I might only go 8 by 10 in those rooms, or even 5 by 7 in those rooms.
What is the average height of beds per loft? And then what about cleaning supplies and vacuums?
Beds can loft up to 5 feet high and down probably as low as about 18 inches. There's a trick to that because the bed frame will run 5 feet to maybe 24, but if you flip it upside the other way around, you can go even lower. Why you would want to go that much lower, I'm not sure, but in theory you could. And again, we have rubber mallets. It's a two-person job to unloft and then adjust the bed. So you will need 2 people to do that. But with 2 people, it's not that hard. If you get stuck, come see our staff and we'll help you. And then I'll let Rachel take the other part of that question.
Yes,
because I
so
forgot it already.
we do have some vacuums and cleaning supplies at our front desk. So if you need to reference any of that, you're welcome to go down to the front desk. All of our rooms are cleaned by our housekeeping team before move-in. So we turn that room over to you, a clean room. Some people want to bring some extra supplies and wipe some things down. You are welcome to do that, but know that we have given you a clean room. I will note that if they have a suite bathroom, then they are responsible for cleaning that bathroom.
That's correct.
If they're in a hall that has community bathrooms, then that is cleaned every day. And so that's something that you may want to think about as you think about which residence hall you're in. You may want to pack some extra cleaning supplies so you have that to clean the bathroom.
That's right. I'm very excited. My son will be in his suite style as a sophomore next year, and his track record on cleaning, let's just say, is questionable. Sorry, kid, if you're watching. I know he's not watching, but I'm sure he and his suite mates will figure out a good cleaning schedule. But that is something you have to do if you're in the suite style or shared bath halls.
Yeah.
Any last other questions coming in? No. Well, hey, it's always fun to pop on the Facebook Live. Thanks to behind the camera, our technical wizard and podcast guru, Corey Middleton. And if you want to tune into his podcast, Dorm Diaries, you can find that wherever you get your podcasts. And I know I'm a frequent listener.
We have a lot of resources on our website too. We want to encourage you to click around on those tabs and make sure that you find that. We have storage companies that are referenced on there. We also have some room decor companies that we have contracted with. Information about Tide University Laundry, GradGuard is part of your housing application. So definitely take a look at that in addition to the room tours and everything that you can find on the website.
Once again, thanks for tuning in. This will be saved. If you know people who've missed it and they want to go back and watch, please encourage them to do so. Or if you yourself tuned in for some but want to go back and listen to some of what we went over, hopefully this was a comprehensive play-by-play on how move-in's going to go for you. And we look forward to seeing you in a little over a month.
Yes, so soon. It's exciting.
All right.
Okay. Go Frogs.
Go Frogs.